Let's also get to the latest political reactions that are coming in on that big face-off between Priyanka Gandhi Vadra and Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath. This is over Priyanka Gandhi offering and writing to the UP government saying that she's willing to offer buses to ferry migrants who are stranded. Now, the UP cops have registered an FIR against Priyanka Gandhi's personal secretary Sandeep Singh for allegedly forging the list of registration numbers of buses that have been sent to the state government. UP Congress President Ajay Kumar Lalu was also detained on Tuesday evening when he was protesting at the Agra border. He accused the UP administration and the police of not allowing buses to enter the state. However, the UP police claims that Lalu was not detained but moved from the border to clear the protest site. The UP government has also said out of 1,000 buses sent by Priyanka, 297 buses are not fit to ply. Madhya Pradesh Chief Minister Shivraj Singh Chauhan also hit out at Priyanka, saying she's politicizing the migrant crisis in the state.
आदरणीय मुख्यमंत्री जी, मैं आपसे निवेदन करना चाहती हूँ, ये राजनीति का समय नहीं है। हमारी बसें बॉर्डर पे खड़ी हैं। हजारों श्रमिक भाई बहन पैदल बगैर खाए पिए दुनिया भर की मुसीबतों को उठाते हुए अपने घर की ओर चल रहे हैं। हमें उनको मदद करने की अनुमति दीजिए। हमारी बसेस को परमिशन दीजिए ताकि हम उनको सही सलामत अपने घर पहुंचा पाए।
Congress General Secretary Priyanka Gandhi Vadra urging UP CM Yogi Adityanath to allow 1,000 buses run by Congress to ferry migrants back home. On Monday, the Yogi government accepted the proposal and sought details of the buses and drivers. But on Tuesday, a major controversy erupted when the Uttar Pradesh government claimed that the Congress list of buses had two-wheelers, three-wheelers and cars. The BJP accused the Congress of playing politics over migrants.
जो बस है वो कहीं निकलती है एम्बुलेंस, कहीं निकलती है थ्री व्हीलर, कहीं निकलती है टाटा मैजिक, और ये कहीं और नहीं, गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया का जो पोर्टल है, जो वाहन पोर्टल है, उसके अंदर ये जानकारी दी गई है।
आज हम लोग अगर बसों का पैसा देके उनको भेजना चाहते हैं तो यूपी की सरकार उसको आने नहीं दे रही है, और आज आरोप प्रत्यारोप का सवाल ही नहीं है। ये तो सब लटकाने का और डिले करने की एक कोशिश है। अगर नीयत साफ होती तो इस हेल्प को स्वीकार करते।
The Yogi government asked Priyanka to send 500 buses to Ghaziabad and remaining 500 to Noida by 12 p.m. on Tuesday. Priyanka Gandhi later wrote a letter to Yogi government claiming that the Congress buses were stuck at Agra. As the buses continued to be stuck in Agra, the Congress workers staged a protest against the district administration.
अनुमति कहाँ है? हमारी बसें तैयार हैं, ले लो, गरीबों को उनके घरों तक पहुंचाओ, मजदूरों तक घर, जहाँ ले जाए, जेल ले जाए, चाहे जहाँ ले जाए, हम यहाँ से हटने वाले नहीं, झुकने वाले नहीं।
Later, Priyanka tweeted urging the UP government to set aside politics and allow her party to help the migrants.
गाड़ी का रजिस्ट्रेशन सर्टिफिकेट होना चाहिए, गाड़ी का फिटनेस सर्टिफिकेट होना चाहिए, और राज्य सरकार की तरफ से, यानी इस केस में राजस्थान सरकार की तरफ से उसका रिटर्न परमिशन होना चाहिए। इन तीन चीजों के साथ ये अप्लाई करेंगे। डीएम महोदय के यहाँ से इनके लिए बसों के लिए पास इशू किया जाएगा, उसके बाद ये बसों को लेकर जाएंगे।
The BJP accused Congress of politicizing the migrant crisis, conspiring to send migrants back home when the economy is restarting.
See, the whole thing reeks of political opportunism, of trying to make a political point.
In the border standoff between Yogi and Priyanka Vadra, the latest salvo fired is FIR against the Congress leader's personal secretary. With Devankur Badhawan in Bharatpur, Bureau Report, India Today.
Let's get you now the latest news coming in from the national capital. Remember, every single day there is a COVID tally bulletin that's released. Now, there's been a major change that's been made by the administration in how really they put out that particular bulletin. So what exactly is this all about? Now, what we know is that at this point, what the daily count of the number of cases is, That's been removed. The basic bulletin format has witnessed a major change as the column for the daily number of cases has been removed. The Delhi government bulletin only shows cumulative cases and death figures. In a recent development, the Delhi government had asked the SDMC and the NDMC to provide details of how many patients who succumbed to coronavirus have been cremated or buried. Sources have told us that a total of 531 people who died.
All right, and clearly that seems to have raised a lot of serious questions over the number of cases in national capital. The Delhi government witnessed this change for the daily numbers, and that's now been removed. Cumulative cases and death figures were showing allegedly some discrepancy. Remember, the Delhi government has asked SDMC and NDMC to provide details of how many patients who succumbed to the virus have been cremated or buried. Sources are telling us that 531 people who died of COVID-19 have been buried. Remember, it's all about India Today investigation a week ago that had shown that Arvind Kejriwal government may just have underreported some of the number of the deaths due to the virus. Let's take a look now from Delhi to Maharashtra, because coronavirus cases in Maharashtra continue to spike, and on a daily basis over 2,000 cases were reported for third straight day in the state. 2,127 cases have been recorded in the past 24 hours, with 1,411 cases in Mumbai city alone. 76 fresh deaths also were reported in the state, taking the toll over 1,200 mark. While 43 deaths were in Mumbai alone, 800 people have succumbed to coronavirus in country's financial capital. So total cases in Mumbai has now crossed 22,700 mark of confirmed cases. Until now, close to 10,000 people have also fortunately recovered after they were infected due to COVID-19. But with 1,200 people discharged in last 24 hours, authorities claim this is the highest number of patients who have successfully recovered and left in a day. So as the city of Mumbai continues to remain the epicenter of coronavirus in India, there are rising concerns among its residents. They fear the shortage of hospital beds and delay in testing. India Today conducted a status check. Take a look at what were the findings.
The day the new Municipal Commissioner of Mumbai, I.S. Chahal, visited BYL Nair Hospital, Ashok Ramadugu's relative was waiting on the road outside this hospital, hoping to be admitted.
नायर हॉस्पिटल जाने के बाद वो लोगों ने जो डॉक्टर्स या नर्सेस वगैरह उन्होंने डायरेक्ट क्यू में खड़ा किया तो बोला लाइन में खड़ा रहो, फिर हम लोग टेस्ट करेंगे. जैसा वो बाहर आ गया, वो पूरा पसीना से लपटा हुआ था कि ऐसा घबराहट उनके मन में आ गया कि ये लोग मुझे क्या कर रहे हैं.
Ironically, this death didn't even make it to India's COVID statistics, because the hospital marked the dead on the death certificate as a suspected COVID patient.
Inconvenience to patients in Mumbai was on two fronts. First was getting a hospital bed and then getting tested. Rising number of cases led to shortage of hospital beds. A lot of hospital staff fell prey to COVID-19, which made hospital wary of admitting patients. At the same point of time, there was changing guidelines of testing by the BMC, which made it difficult for patients to get tested in time.
Despite assurances from the government, there is now a feeling in Mumbai that civic hospitals are running short on medicines, equipment, staff and hospital beds.
एक बेड पे 3-3 पेशेंट और जैसे बेड पे जब पेशेंट मरता है उनको भी इन लोग जल्दी से फटक से लेके नहीं जाते. नॉर्मल पेशेंट के पास 4-4, 10-10 घंटा उधर बॉडी रखते.
Mumbai has 5 major public hospitals, 16 peripheral municipal hospitals and 6 specialty hospitals, in addition to a large number of private ones. Shortage of beds is being reported for critical patients across dedicated COVID hospitals. These hospitals are equipped with ICU facilities and have ventilator support and are reserved for patients who are critical.
फैसिलिटी बन रही है MMRDA में. इस टाइम वहाँ पे हैंडिंग टेकिंग ओवर चल रहा है इन्वेंट्री का MMRDA और BMC का. 800 बेड की तैयारी हो चुकी है, तो कल से हम वहाँ पे काम शुरू करेंगे अपना। तो बेड की कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है, इसलिए हमारे पास सब मिला के 50,000 से ऊपर बेड हैं और हम जल्दी 1 लाख पे पहुँचने वाले हैं।
For doctors who are at the front line in the fight against COVID-19, the danger is more. The Maharashtra state government has decreased the quarantine period for doctors on duty from 7 days to 2 days, putting them at high risk. Dr. Mazhar Khan, a resident doctor, has not gone home since 24th of February because he's afraid he may infect his family.
5 days work and 2 days quarantine system. This is illogical. This doesn't serve the purpose. If any resident with 7-day work and 7-day quarantine, we already have 18 residents who are positive. With 5-day working and 2 days quarantine, it is going to affect us badly. And if one person turns out to be positive, and he will spread it to everybody, because we don't have that break and we cannot monitor whether that person has really contracted the infection.
BMC maintains that there is no shortage of bed. Even ICUs are sufficient for now. But patients and their relatives tell a different tale. Not knowing how to deal with the pandemic has only aggravated the fear.
Apart from Mumbai, Pune is one of the 2 cities in Maharashtra which is also the worst hit by COVID-19. The Pune Municipal Corporation is taking all necessary steps to contain the spread and track infected people. Majority of residents also stay in congested localities where social distancing becomes difficult to maintain. India Today visited one such spot in Pune's Prem Nagar slum area. The team of doctors were accompanied also by RSS volunteers, screening each and every household. The doctors revealed how it is difficult to test every citizen, and temperatures are racing sometimes to as high with of the summer season as 40 degrees Celsius.
ये जो मेरे पीछे जो खड़े इसमें डॉक्टर्स भी है और वॉलंटियर्स है, दोनों है। प्रमुखता ये सब राष्ट्रीय स्वयंसेवक संघ तथा अखिल भारतीय विद्यार्थी परिषद ऐसे संगठनों से है। लगभग 80 से 90% इन दो संस्थाओं से है और 10-15% ऐसे है कि मेरे दोस्त है, संघ में नहीं है, लेकिन अभी ये सब देखा तो उनको ऐसा लगा कि मैंने जाना चाहिए, तो इस प्रकार से वो हमारे साथ जुटे हुए हैं।
आई एम स्वयंसेवक विद द राष्ट्रीय स्वयंसेवक संघ एंड वन डे we call them मुख्य शिक्षक. He told me कि you have to go. There is a chance to offer service to the nation. Will you go? So once the calling has come from RSS, we do have to go. And as the doctors said right now, that people are not cooperative and all. See, these are doctors. People don't know them. But as we all know, RSS is spread across India. So what we have shakas in every locality. So basically people trust people who live with them. So if those people are with us, it is really helpful to gain the people's trust.
Welcome back. The International Cricket Committee is set to ban the use of saliva on the ball as a measure against the spread of coronavirus. The players are used to remember using saliva on the ball often, but this new advisory now comes as a part of series of changes that various sports are undergoing post-COVID-19 era. India off-spinner Harbhajan Singh gave his version to make the game more balanced between the ball and the bat. Listen in.
Baju, what exactly does this mean? By not using saliva and by using sweat, why is it that the bowling fraternity is saying that the game is up?
Well, I think it's a very simple method. You know, why we use saliva to get the shine on the ball, and you know, on a newer ball like this, you know, what I have in my hand, you don't need to put saliva, but even with the sweat, this ball you can shine easily.
You can shine it.
Yes, but once the ball gets old, little old, about 15-20 odd overs are gone, and then ball will become little old, then you need to use the saliva to get the ball shine. And if you don't have the option to put the saliva, how are you going to shine the ball and how are you going to get the ball to swing? And if you'll not be able to swing the ball, whether it's a straight swing or a reverse swing, then how are you going to get the best one out? And on conditions like, you know, Indian conditions, Pakistan conditions, Sri Lankan conditions, and for that matter, even sometime in Australia, you know, where the wickets are so flat.
Also, because these are extraordinary times for cricket, Baju. One simple thing, like in one-dayers, you have two different balls being used from either end in a 50-over games, which means that one ball is used for 25 overs. Why can't you do that in Test cricket till this coronavirus is there?
Well, that's a great suggestion. You know, I certainly feel that the bowler will appreciate if ICC can allow such move, where bowler will also be part of the game. Otherwise, they will just become like a bowling machine. They'll come running, bowl, and will not be able to get the batsmen out. But this is a very good suggestion. If they can have 2 balls, that will obviously bring back some sort of element of that between bat and ball. Some kind of fight between bat and ball. Otherwise, this will become purely a batsman's game, which already it is, but it will give little more edge to the batsman.
That's a wrap on this bulletin. For further news and updates, please log on to indiatoday.in for all coronavirus related updates and more. You can download the app on your phones as well. Stay home, stay safe, stay tuned to India Today.
Hi everyone, Preeti Chaudhary here. Hope you like this video. For latest news and analysis, like and subscribe to the India Today YouTube channel. And don't forget to press the bell icon to stay updated. Thank you for watching.